Today, I'm gonna give you the top 5 reasons, in my opinion, to move to this great state. Now, if you're thinking about making a move and Maryland's on that list, please stick around to the end so I can tell you everything that Maryland has to offer. And if you live in Maryland, you already know. I'm Dino the Realtor. I'm blessed to be able to be a realtor here in the great state of Maryland. Please take a second to like, subscribe, drop a comment. I'd love it. But now I want to go get into it. Here's why you should live in Maryland. Now, one of the things that makes Maryland so great is the diverse housing market that we have. And what do I mean when I say that? I mean that there's all types of housing for all types of tastes here in Maryland. Let's say that you want to live at the beach. I just got back from Ocean City, Maryland, where I know plenty of locals that live there year round. It's a beautiful beach, great little town, and you have that over there. But maybe you don't want to live in Ocean City. Maybe you just want to be on the water. You can make that trip to Annapolis or anywhere on the Eastern Shore, and there's so many great waterfront properties. Let's say that you don't like that, and you want to live in the mountains. We have that too. We have the Appalachian Mountains over there in Western Maryland that some people love checking out just to check out the scenery and beauty. People drive there just for it. Some people like to live out there. If that's your taste, we have that for you. But maybe you like city life. Maybe you're a city person. Maybe you want to live with the hustle and bustle of the city. We have one of the best cities in the United States. We have great food. We have great entertainment. We have great nightlife. And on top of that, we have 2 of the greatest sports teams in all of America in the Baltimore Ravens and the Baltimore Orioles. And that's just a great part of Baltimore. They're the heart of Baltimore. So that's a little bit about Baltimore and that city. But let's say that you don't want to live in Baltimore City. Let's say you want to live somewhere in the suburbs. You want to live in a nice community. You want a big house. We got you covered there too. In all of the counties here in Maryland, you have houses, communities, great schools, things like that. So there's a little bit of everything for everybody. So this is one of the reasons why I love it here in Maryland. Extremely diverse as far as the housing market. Second thing that pops out to me is the fact that we have strong economic growth here in Maryland. Now, strong economic growth normally leads to a healthy housing market. We have a growing economy here in Maryland, and that's in large part due to the fact that we have sectors in government, in healthcare, in technology, and in education that just continue to grow. And when you have that type of growth, it makes it a great place to live and also invest. When I talk about the government jobs, of course, we're local here. We have DC, we have Baltimore, we have government jobs that are all throughout the state of Maryland. You have people coming into the state of Maryland all the time because of government jobs, and that's healthy for the economy. And when I talk about the healthcare system, what do you think about when you hear Maryland and healthcare? We have the best hospital in the world here at Johns Hopkins Hospital. It's personal to me because my wife, she's a nurse practitioner down at Johns Hopkins, and she was a nurse in the emergency room for 10 years over there. It's one of the best hospitals in the world. We have a lot of other great hospitals here and also an extremely strong healthcare system that just keeps growing. That's jobs, 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 and it's absolutely fantastic. You also have education. Let's talk about that for a second. Not only does Maryland have great schools, great communities, some of the counties here have some of the best schools in the country, but let's talk about the upper level. We have some of the best colleges here in the country as well. Johns Hopkins University, the University of Maryland, and of course, the Naval Academy out in Annapolis, which is such a staple of this state, Annapolis being the capital of this state. So these are just a couple things that make the economic growth here in Maryland so strong. Now, the third thing is absolutely my favorite one. It's about the food. Let's talk about the food here in Maryland. When you hear Maryland, you should think of one thing, and that's crabs. And we do crabs the best. People make crabs all over the East Coast and things like that, but they don't do them the same way that we do them here in Maryland. And you can go anywhere in Maryland and you'll find crabs done the right way. Now listen, I'm from Baltimore, and we have some of the best crab places like Jimmy's Famous Seafood and Papa's. These places have great crabs, and incredible crab cakes. And I don't know if you eat crab cakes in other states. If you're from Maryland, you can't eat a crab cake from somewhere else because we just do it different. But let's say that you're not in the mood for crabs or seafood. One of my favorite places in this state is Little Italy here in Maryland. It's in Baltimore City. This is one of the best Italian experiences that you can have. One of the restaurants down there is called La Scala. They have a bocce ball court right in the restaurant, and they have some of the best food all over the place. There are a lot of good restaurants. We have places like Chiparelli's, Sabatino's, great restaurants like that. And the last thing about the food that's a little different here, people from Maryland know what a pit beef stand is. Now, a lot of people all over the place have no idea what I'm talking about. What's a pit beef stand? A pit beef stand is really like a shed that you see on the side of the road, that you see all types of smoke billowing out of because they're cooking beef over charcoal that they slice thin and put on sandwiches. People love it. People from here know what I'm talking about, but when I talk to people in other states, they have no idea what a pit beef sandwich is. So these are just a couple things about the food here that I love and reasons that you should be excited to try these things out. The fourth thing is that we're such a culturally diverse state here in Maryland. I'm talking about we are a true melting pot. We have a little bit of everything. The city of Gaithersburg, that was named the United States' most diverse city. So whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, it makes no difference. Being a Marylander is being a Marylander, and we welcome everybody with open arms. So when you talk about cultural diversity, it's a fantastic thing for Maryland. It's a fantastic thing for the people who live in Maryland, because we are a great state of great people with compassion and love, and that's what we're all about. Open arms, cultural diversity, you gotta love that. The last one, and one that I find to be so important as a realtor here in Maryland, is the fact that we have high property value appreciation. Our property values consistently go up. Of course, there are soft spots and there are communities where home prices are dropping a little bit, but when you talk about Maryland, it's always a safe bet when we're talking about property value. And you, as somebody that may be looking to buy a home, that's something that matters to you. If you buy a house at X, you want it to be worth more 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. It's important to you that you go into an area that your home's gonna appreciate. There are places in the United States right now where homes are falling off a cliff as far as values. But Maryland, we haven't seen that effect the same way as places like Florida and Texas and things like that. And when you're investing in a property, the last thing that you'd like to do, if let's say you bought a house in Austin, Texas a couple years ago at $500,000, is to sell it now and it's worth $4. That's going backwards. But here in Maryland, our property values have consistently moved up. So this is an investment. This is a big thing for you to consider when you're thinking about where to buy. And that's one of the reasons I think you should buy here in Maryland. I hope that some of this has been valuable. I know I love the state of Maryland. I know if you move here, you'll love the state of Maryland. So if you're considering buying a house here in Maryland, give me a shout. My number's right here. I'd love to talk to you anytime about it. And if you already live in Maryland, tell me what you think about what you think is the best thing here in this state. I know personally I could rattle off 10 or 15 more things that are incredible about the state, like things like the fact that we get all 4 seasons, or that we have snowball stands everywhere, or just the fact that we have such a great history here in this state. There are so many great things that we can talk about, but I hope the 5 that I dropped on you were valuable. Please, please, please take a second to like and subscribe to the video. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you the next time.